Hey, how you guys doing, man? It's Joe D, and welcome, man. It is Sunday morning, and I just picked up a new beer uh, while I was grocery shopping with the humongous crowds that were at the grocery store. I thought maybe we could talk about that, but I happened to see a new beer as well, and I didn't hear any chatter about it at all or anything. So I thought, hey, let me pick up this new beer, new to me at least. So I'm going to look it up right now. And I thought we could also talk about my personal shopping experience this morning, as well as, hey, Neri, what up, brother? As well as what you possibly have gone through or are going through at your local grocery store, just trying to buy groceries right now, man. See, it doesn't matter what time it is because Neri's in here now, and where Neri's at, it's 5 o'clock or close enough to it. So, in any case, as far as I know, now let me look this up first, okay? And let me do it some justice. So, let me look up Budweiser Nitro. I'm going to show you the can here in a second. Yeah, here it is, Nitro Reserve Gold. Like I said, I believe this is their first one. Yeah, I'm seeing. Okay, I guess there's been some commercials. Since I don't watch TV, I have not seen it. So, it must have just got released. Let's see here. Let me see if I can go on Budweiser itself and show you guys right away what this looks like. Yeah, man, I got to put in the damn date. This is the part I hate. Let me put in 11 and 1911. Is that old enough for Budweiser? Let's see. All right, so let me share the screen here real quick. We're going to cover this beer, then we're going to talk quite a while, I suppose, or at least for a little bit about shopping and about what we're all going through right now. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Are you kidding me? They're not showing me anything else. So 5% alcohol. Introducing Budweiser Nitro Gold. Brewed with toasted caramel malt and infused with nitro for a silky smooth finish. 5% ABV. Calories are 167. No fat, and 15.2 grams of carbs for 12 ounces. God, they could at least show the. They could at least show the can here better or something, man. Is that it? You gotta be kidding me. There's someone else has to have a better write up on this stuff. Yes, I'm 21. What Tri-City, what does that have to? Oh, just distributing. Okay, so here it is. So that's exactly what my can looks like. It says coming March 2020, we are excited to introduce the first full-time addition to the Budweiser Reserve family. Budweiser Nitro Reserve Gold, an extra smooth golden golden lager crafted with nitro and 100% American grains. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see it on the screen here. Smaller, denser nitro bubbles make this an extra smooth drinking experience with a creamy head and silky smooth finish. This golden lager is brewed with toasted caramel malt for a deep golden color and a bold, flavorful taste taken to the next level with nitro. And I guess it comes in, let's see here if we can, how can I move this over? I guess I have to make it smaller to 24 12-ounce cans. I don't get the way this is. So I don't get the way this is going here. I don't get the way that's sized. I don't understand that. In any case, I bought it in a 12 pack. So I'll stop sharing that screen. So this is what my can looks like. Budweiser Nitro Reserve Gold. It has the red. What do you call that? I forget what it's called. But in any case, on the side of the can, they have the Nitro Pour Tour. So, they're assuming that most of their drinkers have no idea how to pour nitro beer, which is good because they probably don't. So they are telling you to flip it 3 times, up, down. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. So flip it 3 times, pour it straight up into the glass, and then they say on the bottom, wait for it. So I assume that's the cascading action. So I've got my real good beer glass here. I'm going to crack this open and see what we get here, man. Let me get my keyboard out of the way. Here we go, man. No smoke whatsoever. And pour straight in. There we are. Let's see that. See if we get some cascading out of this Budweiser here. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. It's cascading a little bit. It's definitely a little more golden than normal. A little more of a caramel color. So they might have concentrated on that a little more. You give it a tap, but you can get a better. Ooh, nice foamy head on that though. Look at that. Beautiful, man. Okay, let me get a selfie of this beer. This is my first one, so I definitely have to get the beer selfie. So give me a second here to get this picture because oh yeah, baby. I haven't had regular Budweiser in a while. I don't expect a whole lot. You can see me right through it. Hi. Yeah, I mean, it does smell a little more like malty, sweet, a little bit, a little more caramels. I'm getting a little more of stuff in this one, I have to admit. Maybe they changed their recipe a little bit. I'm a little shocked, man. It's boy, who'd have guessed a little nitro would help a regular Budweiser a lot. I mean, okay, now that it's, Budweiser's not dry, man. It sticks with you for a while. So that remaining taste that's in my palate starts to get that little bitterness that Budweiser does have. Now, nitro beers, you do definitely want to drink cold. You don't want to let nitro beers warm up too much. Guinness is the famous one. As you can hear, no sort of anything in the can. So they must put the nitro in there and right before sealing without a little widget because there's no widget. So maybe that's why they want you to, not shake the beer, but tip it upside down 3 times before you pour. Interesting beer, man. It is. These specialty beers that Budweiser has made so far, not bad. Would I buy this all the time? I got 11 more of these bad boys right now. So I'm kind of stuck with 11 of them right now. I have another one here that I'm going to crack open here. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I got to admit, it's definitely smoother. But when it finishes, they're not quite as ice cold. They were cold at the store. Very long lines leaving the store. I'm going to talk about my grocery shopping experience here in a second. Right now, though, just talking about the beer. So they were cold in the case at the grocery store. And then I stood in a long line, and I drove home, and now I'm here talking with you. So they've been out of the fridge for a little bit. Not quite as cold as I would have them here at home. I'd be interested to see because that usually gets rid of that bitterness that Budweiser has is just drinking it cold. It doesn't start bitter it's just towards the end of your taste, you get that bitterness that Budweiser has when it's not ice cold, not really cold, and already starting to hit more of a 45-degree Fahrenheit type of situation, which is fine for other beers. But yeah, these light lagers, these big, light, mass-produced lagers, not so much, right? I'm going to finish this one and then pour the next one. Let's see what we get out of this next one, if there's more of a nitro sort of pop out of this. Oh, man. Nice, crisp. Here we go. Oh, man, you know what? I didn't shake this one. But that's straight up, though. And it does have some cascading to it. Without the widget, it does have some nice cascading to it. Pretty cool, man. Look at that. I mean, beautiful, beautiful head on that thing, man. Jeez. And it does smell decent for Budweiser. Not like a craft lager, but the head is beautiful. And I gotta admit, it's going down. I would rather have this than have the regular red can. That's for sure. Man, I haven't had Budweiser in forever. I like the way the top of that tap is like a crown. You see that? They were always the king of beers, and so you can see the crown on the tab. So that's kind of cool. I like all the touches. The labeling is gold. Even the wording here in the description has updated language, about it being nitro and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, man, that they did this. So interesting. So my shopping experience this morning, I'll get right into it, was I go shopping at 7 in. I'm usually at the grocery store sometime around 7 in. Sometimes a little earlier, sometimes 15 till 7, but somewhere around there. And there's usually, the reason I go is because my grocery store is very busy. It's a very, very busy grocery store. So if you go anytime after that, anytime close to 9, and closer to noon, forget about it. I mean, there will literally be traffic in the damn grocery store. It's like a Costco in the grocery store. That particular grocery store that I have to go to is just a very, very busy grocery store. On a Sunday, it's like a Costco. It can be nuts just on your average Sunday. Okay. They do a lot of business, so they'll have everybody in there just maxing out the shelves and everything, because a typical Sunday is very busy. If you were to go like very late in the afternoon or early evening, and I've done that before, the crowds are definitely less, but they do run out of stuff. My grocery store that I go to will be, some of the shelves will be kind of empty, not cleared, but you'll see the thinning. Some of your produce will be gone. They'll run out of, like, strawberries, for instance, or some of the bananas won't look so hot. You know what I'm saying? They start getting down to the nitty gritty of stuff, and some of that stuff just ain't real desirable. Some of the produce and fruit will be the scraps. I mean, it's literally on a typical Sunday, if you were to go super late in the day, but 7 in when I go, it's never that busy at all. Parking lot was packed. I could not believe it. I drove up and I was like, whoa. I mean, what a difference a week makes. I mean, parking lot was packed. It was packed. Even walking up to the grocery store, I realized quickly, looking off in the distance, because I go there every week, every Sunday. I know the routine there. You know what I'm saying? I know where everything's at in the store. I know where the shopping carts are at. And I'm usually grabbing a cart along the way. I noticed that, on my way walking up to the store, I'll grab a cart. If I see one in the little cart racks or whatever, I'll grab a shopping cart. I noticed there wasn't any, of course, because freaking parking lot was packed. And I could see off in the distance that where they normally keep, this is Arizona. For those that don't know, I live in Phoenix. So a lot of things don't normally, we just got over like 3 days of rain here in a row, but it normally don't rain that much here at all. So a lot of things are kept outside. So a lot of your grocery stores you go to, they keep the carts outside. And so you can see at walking up to a store that they have carts because they normally keep them outside. And there was no carts. I could see that walking up, and I'm going, whoa, this is weird. The parking lot's full. There was no carts in any of the racks in the parking lot, and there was no carts in where they store them outside walking into the store. I was like, huh. I had to go find a shopping cart. I walked through the parking lot till someone was done with their cart and grabbed their cart just so I could shop. That's how bad it was. Okay, all right, here we go. Here we go, man. I got to do my shopping. Here we go. Walk in. For one thing, they didn't have all the doors open. They only had one set of doors open. They wanted everyone coming in and out of one set of doors. That's not normal. Okay, all right. They had postings up there on limits on what you could get. I was like, okay, all right. I go in the one set of doors there, and I'm in, and immediately you're just presented with the mass amount of people that were in line. I wish I would have took a picture. The amount of people that were in that store at 7 a.m, you'd have thought it was Christmas Eve. You'd have thought it was Black Friday. It was that kind of line. Wow. The amount of people that were in there already in line, grocery carts full, was pretty crazy. Not really full. Kind of like a quarter full to half full. A lot of people weren't buying tons and tons of stuff. My takeaway after doing my shopping, okay, all your root vegetables were really low already, 7 a.m. That's when they're stocking everything, man. I'm a truck driver. I'm a local truck driver. I know when things get delivered because I'm a delivery guy. That's what I do. So I know they've already gotten their delivery. I know because, hell, I happen to deliver to Kroger, which is the grocery store where I was at, Friday. I just delivered to the Kroger distribution center. I know when the delivery drivers deliver because I'm one of them. And so I know that first thing in the morning on a typical Sunday, the grocers are out there stocking, man. They're stocking. All the produce guys are out there stocking stuff. Potatoes completely cleaned out. Root vegetables, all your root vegetables there were some onions, there were some carrots, but your root vegetables, which are things that you can store for a while, right? Your onions, your carrots, your celery, your potatoes especially. Potatoes were gone. There was not a potato to be had. There was a few sweet potatoes. Literally a few sweet potatoes. That was it. Potatoes gone. There was still some lettuce. There were still strawberries. There were still grapes. A lot of your fruits and stuff like that were still available, but thin, right? And that's 7 a.m. If you're going at 12, you're screwed. If you're going at noon, the amount of people that were flowing into the store with me was crazy. That never happens. That wasn't happening last week. As I go through the store, I'm like, okay, all right, this, I'm not in a panic, and I didn't see anybody else like panicking. You're just trying to get what my takeaway was I saw people doing the same thing and the same thought process as me. Like, okay, all right, All right. Well, I'm here. I'm trying to get some stuff. Okay. There's no potatoes. What else can I get that I can get by on? Right. Okay. They got onions. Okay. I'll get onions. All right. They have bananas. I'll get bananas. They have carrots. Okay. I'll get some carrots. That sort of deal. You're trying to make these compromises in your mind with your shopping list that you have, right? All right, they have celery. I'll get some celery. They have lettuce. Okay, I'll get lettuce. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. Bell peppers. Okay, they had bell peppers, and they had all these sorts of things. They even had organic. They had choices, so you could, if you want to do organic, you can do organic. I need bread. I need sandwich bread, so I'm going to the part of the store where they have the bread, which is down from the right by the produce section. Gone, clean. All there was literally some hamburger buns and some hot dog buns. That was all there was. I happen to live in there's a lot of Mexicans in my area, if you can imagine. So a lot of the rolls that are served, right? Just like if you were in the East Coast, I picture like if you're in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, there'd probably be a lot of fresh bagels and a lot of things that are geared towards a Jewish type of taste or an Italian type of taste or something like that. Well, here things are predominantly geared towards a Mexican sort of taste because there's a lot of Mexicans in my immediate area. So there's a particular kind of roll, and I forget what they call them. They start with a B. And they're great. I love them. But that's all there was. They had big bins filled with fresh, I don't know the name of these rolls, but they're a bread roll, right? And they're perfect for sandwiches. You can make sandwiches out of them, but they're a decent sized roll. So you're going to have to cut them and do whatever you need to. So I ended up buying some of those so I can make my sandwiches for the week for my lunch. You know what I'm saying? You're like, there was no bread. Even if I wanted to buy the expensive fancy stuff, gone. Everything was gone. That never happens. They have so much bread at my store. It's ridiculous because it's a busy store. All that was clean. The bacon was starting to get cleaned out. There was still some bacon when I went, but it was getting cleaned out. Your sausage and all these sorts of things that you would typically make in America for breakfast. Sausage links, all these sorts of things were starting to get thinned out. Mark had told me in his shopping experience that all the meat was gone. The fresh meat butcher, they usually have a couple of cases there, and the butcher's real friendly. A couple of those guys are super friendly, and they're always having some casual chit chat with somebody. They're really nice guys, really nice people. Seafood part of it gone. There was not one shrimp to be had. No seafood whatsoever. The whole seafood thing was clean. It wasn't even on. They had it off. It was done. So if you wanted any sort of fresh seafood, not even an option. They still had some ground beef. They still had some beef. Still had some pork. You could even make your choice of ground beef between. I didn't go over there to look specifically, but there was some choices in the ground beef. They still had some of that, right? So you could still get a 5-pound thing of ground beef if you wanted it. But the beef was thin. There was no steaks, but ground beef was there. There was still some like stew type beef if you wanted it that was already cut up. There were some pork steaks, some ground pork. There was some ground turkey. Lots of frozen chicken. There was no fresh chicken. Fresh chicken was gone. But there was frozen chicken, but people were buying it, a couple bags at a time. So I imagine by now that's probably thinned out. Cereal gone, flour gone, sugar gone. All those were just clean. All those shelves were clean. A lot of your canned vegetables, canned fruits, gone or extremely thin. I think I saw uh, a few cases here and there of like your canned peas, some cases of mixed vegetables, um, all your canned stuff just obliterated, just gone. And that I can't tell you how that never happens in this store. This is a busy store. They are used to having stuff, right? And they have stuff until late in the day. Gone. A lot of your cereals were clean, cleaned out. They had tortillas. I got tortillas. They had tortillas. Condiments, they have 2.5 million condiments at my store, at least. Thin, super thinned out. Barbecue sauce, I was really shocked. Barbecue sauce, all sizes gone. Your big jugs of barbecue sauce gone. Mayonnaise, another condiment, kind of shocked me. I thought maybe mustard might be gone. Mustard, there was still plenty of mustard, still plenty of ketchup. I thought those two would be the condiments. That mayonnaise gone. Interesting to me. That some of these things are interesting to me. Mayonnaise. I like mayonnaise. Don't get me wrong. I like mayonnaise as a condiment. As far as condiments go, yeah, I like mayonnaise with certain foods, right? But with a lot of people getting more health conscious and all these sorts of things, I think, of mayo, mustard being more of a choice for most people now, possibly ketchup as a better option. Barbecue sauce kind of threw me that was gone. Mayo definitely threw me. I didn't see that coming. But a lot of people must love mayo as much as I do. But the mayo was gone. There was like some light mayo, and who in the hell eats that stuff? Ooh, that stuff was still there. I'm thinking about the different aisles. Cereal was gone or super thinned out. There was still some cereal to be had, but super thinned out. A lot of the shelves were empty of some of your big ones, your Cheerios and all these sorts of things were gone. A lot of your oatmeal was gone. But there was still some cereal to be had, but different cereals were really thinning out. Cookies, there was plenty of cookies. Crackers, gone. There was literally a couple of boxes of the store brand crackers left. That was it. All your regular like saltines, your regular salted crackers, gone. Cheez-Its, gone. All those sorts of crackers were clean. The shelves were clean. Going down the aisles here in my head. Chips, there was plenty of chips, or I think across the pond you call them crisps. There was plenty of those to be had, to tell you the truth. Coffee, tea, plenty of that. Juices were thinning out. Cranberry juice, all those sorts of juices were thinning out. Frozen potatoes, gone. Dry potatoes, gone. I looked for dry potatoes. They were gone. Anything that is potato related was gone. These things were very interesting to me. And there was a lot of people, and I would overhear conversations. I wasn't having a conversation because I'm by myself. So and I'm not going to talk to myself in the store. But I was overhearing other people talking, and they're doing the same thing I'm doing in my head. They're like, okay, they're out of potatoes. What else can I get? And I heard some of that happening, right? I'm like, okay, I need eggs. Let me see what that's like. Eggs were thinning out, man. The real shocker for me, milk. They were putting out another. They were stocking the milk racks, and there was people waiting for milk. So that's how quick the milk was going. Milk was clean. There was no milk to be had, but they were stocking more milk. And people were waiting for that milk. So literally as they're stocking it, I mean, the guy would put a gallon of milk on the shelf and someone's already grabbing it. Eggs were pretty thin, and there was a limit on those sorts of things. So there was a limit on how many packs of eggs you could buy. I only needed 1 dozen, so that's all I got. There was the big shocker there in that whole dairy sort of section of the grocery store. You know, the shocker for me was creamer. Your flavored creamers gone. I barely was able to get. I needed creamer. I'm low on creamer. I like flavored creamers. Gone. I was like, that was the big shocker to me, was creamer. Creamer was gone. I didn't even bother going down the paper aisle. I didn't bother. I've heard enough. I didn't even bother going down the paper aisle. I didn't even bother. But a lot of your cleaning supplies were gone. I went down. I have to pass where the diapers are at, you know, all the baby aisles. I had to pass those aisles in order to get to the eggs in my particular store. And like you expect, diapers were super thin, if not gone. Certain brands and sizes were gone. Baby wipes, mostly gone. And I saw some baby wipes there. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a pack. So, I grabbed me a pack of unscented baby wipes. I was like, from everything I'm hearing, they're gone. So I'm seeing a couple. I'm going to take one. I took one. I took 1 pack. There was maybe a couple of dozen packs there. So I took 1. But like I said, I was tempted to get, to go down the paper aisle, but I was like, I am not even going to bother, and as you're shopping, they're making announcements over the intercom system about your limits and what you can get. It felt like some kind of like old movie where, like one of those old movies about like the Holocaust or something, and the Germans, you felt Jewish, and the Germans are they're barking orders to you over the intercom or something, and you're like, oh, I'm a poor refugee. You know what I'm saying? It just felt like that. It was crazy because they're just constantly telling you and you can barely understand the intercom sort of thing. So it felt like this real, just grim situation in every aisle you're walking down. Once you got past the first 2 aisles, you were confronted by the lines, and the lines were literally all the way down the aisle. So the lines to check out, you were constantly confronted by that. So once you got past those first couple of aisles, you're seeing people standing there. So it's hard to get even to some of the things they had, because you're going to have to go past people that are already in line, and the line is literally all the way to the end of the aisle. So you're confronted with this as you're shopping, and going, it's going to take me forever to get out of here. It was pretty interesting. My takeaway from it was not necessarily people in a panic, not people buying tons of stuff, but think about it. Take a step back and really think about what's happening right now. You have governments. Think about just this one thing. This was my takeaway from standing in line that long and watching everybody else and looking at everybody else's shopping cart. I didn't see anybody's shopping cart super full. I didn't. I saw lots of people with half full shopping carts and less. Problem is, the whole store was full of people. So think about this. When there's no school in your area, is there any traffic, or is traffic cut down by a lot? That one thing alone in all our areas, no matter where we live, even across the pond, when there's no school, you feel it. You're like, holy crap, I wish there was no school every day. I mean, right? Because you're like, oh, the traffic was great. There's no school today, is there? You know what I'm saying? That's the impact that no school can have. So think about it, man. I was thinking about it, And I'm like, you know what? They're asking everyone to stay home. And they're asking everyone, or right now, there's parents that are making decisions. I mean, okay, I can take some time off work. I can, spouses are having these conversations. Okay, little Jimmy and little Susie, they don't have no school for the next few weeks, because it's right. Some people already have spring break, but after they come back, you can kind of expect they're not going to go to school for a couple more weeks. So, all right, for the next 2-3 weeks, little Susie's not in school, little Jimmy's not in school, so I'll stay home with them. You go to work. I'll take a couple weeks off and right. And we had our dear friend of the show, Zach, on here saying, "Hey, man, he's already pleading, man. And we're maybe 2 weeks into this, more or less, just a week, where they're asking people to stay home already. Businesses are feeling the small businesses are feeling the impact of people staying home. When you ask people to stay home, not come to work if you don't have to. Hey, if you can work from home, work from home. And people are accommodating. We're doing that. Hey, yeah, I don't want to be part of this problem, or I don't want to get this. I want to make sure I'm safe. I want to make sure you're safe. So what I see happening is we're not going to restaurants anymore. We're not popping into McDonald's as much as we used to hit a drive-through. We're staying home. When the more people stay home, we need stuff at home. We have to eat at home now. So now we're not ready for this. We're not prepared for this. Our normal is people going out and doing things, going to events and eating there, or going to said event and eating after the event, or eating before the event, and then maybe eating 1 or 2 meals at home. We're not used to everybody eating every meal at home and needing the supplies to clean and to do all these other things that you need to do at home. I don't see it as people going crazy. I see it as people preparing themselves to stay home. And when you've got everybody doing that, to me, it just makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, now you've got whatever the percentage is, maybe 60% of people were staying at home, or eating possibly 1 or 2 meals at home. Well, now if that percentage even goes up to 70, people eating 2 to 3 meals at home, plus staying home more, you've got kids at home. Well, now I need more supplies because now I'm home. I need more water. I need more toilet paper. There's more asses to wipe more often. It can quickly run into a situation, and we're a week into this. This was my thought standing in line. This was my thought standing in line with my own groceries in the grocery store, was we're a week or 2 into this, folks. And we're supposed to do this for possibly 4 to 6 weeks. Where are we at in 4 weeks? What do we look like in 4 weeks? What do we look like in 6 weeks? What do we look like in 8 weeks? And will it only go 8 weeks? Can we put that genie back in the bottle? What does it look like? This is interesting to me. That's my takeaway. That's the question to me. That's the question I was asking. I was like, this is only a week in. Where am I at a month from now? In week 4, this is, to me, the end of week 1. Where are we at week 4? Can I even get a bell pepper? Can I get an onion? Do I have a toilet roll? Where are we at? Where are we at? We're asking people to stay home, and as time goes on, by the end of this day, there might be more businesses and events shut down. This is very fluid right now. We don't know where it's going to stop. In this time of unknown, and more people are staying home, we're figuring out ways to do this. You need stuff at home, and we're just not set up for that. We're not prepared for that as Americans. I don't even know about the UK and all these other places. We're just not prepared for that. Let me go through some of these comments. That was my takeaway from this morning was, where are we at? I didn't see people going nuts. People are just the people I saw were just buying necessities, just doing and asking the same things. Some people were laughing a little bit because you do those sorts of things when there's a big unknown, right? Like there was a lot of this happening. Boy, this is nuts, isn't it? Yeah. That nervous laughter, man. You don't really mean it. It's how else you going to deal with this? You have to have a little laughter. That's why I felt like getting on here, having a conversation was great. Having something like this where we can talk about it and what are you going through in your area? You know what I'm saying? Let me go through some of these comments, man. We have Neri in here. Beer time here, man. I'm going now back a half hour, 40 minutes. So Neri says, Nitro sounds good. Craig got on here. Cheers, man. Cheers to you, Craig. Neri said cheers as well. TN, hey, good morning, gang. Have you guys tried the PBR hard coffee? Bum, I think, had it. If I remember right, I think he was doing his no alcohol thing, and I think he has it and hasn't possibly had it yet. But someone we know has it. Wait, but I think Mark had it too. PBR coffee is good. So Dirk had it. Crazy in Chicago, nothing left. Looks like The Walking Dead out here. It does. It reminds you of The Walking Dead. It does. It really does. And another thing to add to what Dirk is saying is, to me, another one of my takeaways is like, look, I think this will show what we're made of. This will, if you're American or if you're British or if you're African, whatever you are, this will show what we're made of, right? Hey, look, reach out to your neighbors, reach out to your friends, reach out to other people in your communities. And start, hey, this is how we barter. This is how we take care of each other. This is, hey, do you have a need? Are you okay? How are you doing? Let's reach out to each other, man. Reach out to your neighbors, maybe once a week. Hey, man, how you doing? You okay? You have food? Do you have food? You know what I'm saying? Do you have this? Do you have that? Well, I'm kind of, maybe you have an extra tube of toothpaste right now. And maybe your neighbor has a couple of extra packs of toilet paper. Maybe you can make an exchange. Hey, you know what? I'll tell you the truth. I could use an extra pack of toilet paper. I've got some toothpaste. These are things that are done in like Walking Dead. But you know what? That's where we're going to be, is what I feel like, in 4 to 6 weeks. Our whole system isn't set up for this. We're not set up for the majority of people to be at home. I don't feel like any of our systems, and you know why? It gets back to that, what do they call it? JIT system, right? That just-in-time system, where everything's just in time. There's no more warehousing of stuff. There's no more, everything's just in time. So when you get a crisis like this that happens, there's no reserve anywhere. Nobody warehouses anything anymore. There's no one to call and say, hey, man, I need, right? The grocery store can't do that because they've got a distribution center, a DC, and the DC has to distribute to all of them. The DC has a lot of goods, but the DC operates on that JIT system as well. This is an interesting, this is exposing where all our systems are at. This is what I feel. This is exposing us, and this genie's out of the bottle. And I think we've got to ask ourselves a lot of hard questions about the way we do business. Is this really healthy? Is this really, this is going to happen again. And we need to learn from this. This is a learning experience. I think we'll come back from this. But are we going to learn from it? You know what I'm saying? This is interesting, man. Thanks, Joey, Dirk, for that. Here we got Joey in here. That was my experience too. Yeah, he's saying he had the same experience, man. People are freaking crazy. Yeah, I can see that, man. We have Adam on here. Afternoon Joe, still no bog roll on sale or hand wash or antibacterial gel near me, and soup is at a minimum. Got beer though. Every cloud has a silver lining. You know what? Honestly, the beer, the wine, all the spirits were loaded. I mean, yeah. I mean, you might as well get drunk, right? If you got to be home, please don't do that. I don't want to be responsible for you becoming an alcoholic or something. Just strike that from the record, please. Jerry says, same experience here. I always grocery shop on Sunday morning. Love your channel, by the way. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it. I stocked up on canned soup and beer. You know what? What's funny is, and I make fun of myself as well, I have a lot of Amazon subscriptions. I'm a busy guy. I work a lot of hours. I don't have a lot of time to run to the store and do this and that. And quite frankly, I'll forget a lot of stuff. So the whole toilet paper thing, I have a subscription for toilet paper. I happen to just get my delivery of toilet paper. I don't sound so crazy now, do I? It comes to me when it comes, when it's on schedule. My laundry soap, all these sorts of things that people are buying mass quantities of, I have a subscription to. It comes to me. Doesn't sound so crazy now, does it? Whenever there's a sale, I'm one of those people that naturally likes to stock up on canned goods. So I had just bought a couple of cases of soup that were on sale on Amazon and Walmart.com. They were on sale. They were having a big sale. So believe it or not, I had just bought a bunch of cases of canned goods because they were down to, like, with the soup, it was like chunky soup was down to like $1.30 a can, $1.37 as a matter of fact, a can. So I bought a couple cases, and this is 2 weeks ago. And it's something that I never buy, but it was so cheap. It was under $1 a can. It was Chef Boyardee. I bought some Chef Boyardee stuff because it was so cheap. I was like, how can I not buy this? And so, and then I already have tons of canned soup and canned goods as it was, because I have a good sized pantry. And so, yeah, me personally, I'm okay. And I'll be taking inventory of what I have, quite frankly, and maybe this sort of mindset of mine will help you guys. I'll be taking inventory of what I have and figuring it out. Okay, if this lasts 60 days, how much should I be eating? I mean, really, right? Start looking. The pasta, go on. There was not one box of pasta to be had, anything like that. There was a couple of big jugs of tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce. That was it. Anything to do with pasta or anything like that, rice, any of those long staple sort of items were gone. As a matter of fact, they were down to limiting you with the pasta that you could buy. I think that's our reality for a few weeks here. Limits. They're going to limit you. Some things were a limit per family, and some things were a limit per person. That was another cold hard. I'm telling you, they were barking things over the speakers over your head. It felt like one of those old movies. I'm telling you, it was a trip. Dirk says, "You're good, man. Thumbs up." Hey, thank you, Dirk. Appreciate it, brother. There's Tom in there. What's up, man? How you doing, YouTube? Hey, good to hear from you, Tom. Appreciate it. What's up, Thomas? Joey says, just slip yourself a steak or two while you're while you're delivering. They'll never know, right? Yeah. Exactly. Right? Yeah, a lot of your online stores that some of you order your prescriptions from. I deliver to these places, man. Some of your I overheard one lady saying that she was actually surprised that there was still quite a bit of dog food. She needed dog food for her dog. Um, and one guy said, "Wow, they still have dog food." And she said, "Yeah, they had plenty of dog food and cat food." So there is that for those of you that do have animals. Plenty of dog and cat food, hopefully, in your stores. Tom said, "This is ridiculous. The virus is a weaker version of the flu, except if you get a respiratory issue. Our country is getting too worked up. I understand the need not to spread the virus. I get it. Yeah, I mean, that's, and he keeps going. But to react this way is extremely harsh." And then, and then here he goes. "How does the virus affect you as a trucker, Jody?" Me as a trucker, I was sick last weekend. I was extremely sick. I happened to in the business. Let me get to Adam's comment real quick. I got an 8-kilo bag of potatoes yesterday from our nearest farm shop. There was loads on a tray of there was loads and a tray of eggs. So it sounds like there was a lot of potatoes, and there, you know what? And that gave me an idea. There is like farmers markets sorts of things in my immediate area. And I know all our areas have like a local farmers sort of market thing, like in a park or something like that, where people that grow things sell stuff. Maybe that's a good opportunity to support your local farmer and your local immediate area by buying your potatoes and stuff like that, your produce off of a local market somewhere. I'm sure on a Sunday they're having a farmer's market. It's a good opportunity to buy all their potatoes, right? Buy all their onions, buy all their green onions, buy all their stuff. They're fresh and it's good stuff. I mean, you never regret when you buy from a local farmer, right? Their stuff is fantastic. As for Tom's comment there, how does it affect me as a local truck? I was sick really bad last weekend. I don't know if you noticed it during the show last week. I was still pretty sick. I happened to deal with quite a bit with the moving side of our business as well. We have a moving side of the business where we move household goods. And so I'm meeting literally people that are just got here from Seattle, from Tacoma, Washington, all over Washington State, all over California, people that are just moving here, people that are moving here from China, people that are moving, you know what I'm saying? I happen to deal with these people when they're moving to Phoenix for whatever the reason. I don't know if that's where I got sick from. I'm still actually dealing with just a little pinch of a nasal thing. That's another thing. There was a lady in the store. Oh my God, I have to tell you this. There was a lady in the store sicker than a dog with an old tissue that she's been hacking in, sneezing in, and everything probably all freaking morning. You could tell it was old. I'm walking down that one aisle, and all of a sudden I can hear her just coughing, not covering her mouth or any, in one of those really bad sick coughs too. And I'm going, "Are you?" And I immediately turned around. I wasn't even giving that a chance. I wasn't anywhere close to her, but I could hear her down on the other side of the aisle. I saw her in a millisecond. I turned around. I was like, I ain't getting nowhere near this lady. So when I got to the eggs, all of a sudden I hear someone hacking and backing me. It's that same lady. And I looked at her like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Like, you should have stayed your ass home. What are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, hacking all over our food. It was unbelievable to me. Like, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. there are those people out there, and they don't think they're those people, but they are, right? I wasn't about to even chew her out because I might be exposed to who knows. Oh, that was unbelievable. I'm like, are you flipping kidding me? Right? That was like, what? Dirk says, Joe, sounds like you got an Irish potato famine. An Irish potato famine. I don't know. Thomas, it's not a weaker version of the flu. It is a strand of virus that they have not developed an immunization for. It also spreads a lot easier than the common flu. That's the scary thing. When you think about the regular flu and how fast that spreads, even in your house, like if you happen to have kids, if your kid comes home with a little sniffle, guess what? Everybody gets it. And that's with just the flu. This thing spreads even faster than that. And the problem is you might not even realize you have it. The problem also is that you think you're fine, and maybe you are. The problem is you could be a carrier for it and give it to someone else that you don't even know, or maybe even someone you do know. Maybe that person isn't in the quote age bracket of risk, but they have another thing that's happening with them. Their immune system is affected one way or another. You know, it's a heck of a situation. Have you been to the CDC or World Health Organization websites and read what they published about the flu or the coronavirus at Joey? The flu sounds more like a killer to these organizations than the coronavirus. The WHO and CDC says children are more at risk for the flu than coronavirus. WHO says most people, about 80% recover from the disease without needing special treatment. Around 1 out of every 6 people who gets COVID-19 becomes seriously ill and develop difficulty breathing. That's low to me for worry. And then Joey got in here. I have read various credible sources, CDC, St. Joseph's Hospital, and a former viral investigator. And then Tom continues his argument. CDC says emergency symptoms are difficulty breathing, or shortness of breath, persistent pain, or pressure in the chest, new confusion, or inability to arouse bluish lips or face. Joey says it's also a brand new strand of COVID. Only a month old in the US, not really comparable to the common flu. It is if you, and this is Tom, it is if you gotta diagnose something. It's way too similar not to compare. Adam says, hope I work from home, have a buttload of good ground coffee, not crap instant coffee in the office. Yeah, right. Yeah, if you got to work from home, I mean, work from home. You know, my takeaway from it, and this is just my takeaway, it's one idea, is that we're asking more people to stay home, and they are. But all those people now need to eat at home and clean their home more, and all these other sorts of things that you wouldn't possibly do as much if you were doing X, Y, and Z out, right? Joey says it's new with no immunization yet. If you have the flu, they have a vaccination for various forms. Let's see here. I had the flu 1 month ago. I got diagnosed with flu A. I got over it in 3 days. Hopefully, I am now immune to this crap. Well, we shall see, right? That's the oh boy, there's quite a few comments, man. Thank you guys for commenting, man. I appreciate it. And the vaccine's effectiveness is shoddy at best, but a vaccine is better than nothing. Honestly, quarantine and vaccines are the only thing that will keep this under control. Joe, God gave us a left hand for a reason. We don't need toilet paper. And what about us people that are left-handed, man? I mean, Tom said, "Thank you, Joey." Completely different, immunity-wise to the flu. However, 70,000 people recover from this virus, and they haven't been reinfected. So it's pretty safe to say once you have recovered, you're okay. Good conversation, Tom. It is, man. I love the back and forth, and he gave a thumbs up. You too, Joey. It's definitely good to have these sorts of conversations, man, with our peers, right? Get these feelings out there. Get these ideas out there. Let's talk about it. I had it. It sounds, I mean, it's good like a Starbucks Frappuccino in a bottle. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what he said. Oh, Mansky. People who are paying attention 6 weeks ago knew this was coming. Everyone ignored it. Probably did. Yeah. Now we're scrambling. Yeah. I'll agree with that. You are telling me we knew this was happening the first week of February? Yes, this was happening in China by the end of January. We've had over a month to prepare and did absolutely nothing. Yeah. We are not China getting eagle and bat meat. And Rod's chiming in here. Hey, good to see you, Rod. Cheers, Joe. Kind of digging the social distancing. Laugh out loud. I think I have been doing it for a while. Yeah, exactly. We both are, Rod. We are both doing the whole social. All our shows are very safe social distancing type shows, man. We have been doing the virtual pub table for quite a while now. We should be better than this. It's absolutely insane that our experts, quote, experts, did nothing to prepare. Yeah, I'll agree with you. Trump cutting the pandemic team didn't help. Oh, boy. Now we got Trump in there. It didn't. But the CDC still gets over $7 billion a year to prevent this from happening. Trump isn't qualified to micromanage epidemiology experts. Experts now predicting that NYC will be Wuhan? I don't know how you say that. In 9 to 10 days. New York governor is on TV right now saying their system will be overwhelmed. Yeah. Man, this is on so many levels. We were not ready for this. And to me, that's the larger picture. Who the hell is then? Probably them. Only doctors and health professionals in a president. We need people from all backgrounds helping at Mansky, not just one type. Sounds ignorant of a statement that one president isn't doing enough. Mansky comes back. The CDC is an agency that is supposed to prevent this from happening. They failed. Should have been an exclamation point at the end of that one. But I feel the action Trump needed to take. I don't have any knowledge of what they're talking about there. CDC had also lost numerous positions as well. So there was some undermanning during the last few years. Yeah, any government agency has been, their budgets have been cut and cut and cut and cut. And this is one of the takeaways from the economic downturn in 2007, 2008. Once government agencies and employers started figuring out, well, we just absolutely have to cut Susie's job and Jimmy's job and Johnny's job. We absolutely have to cut these jobs. And you know what? We can get Bobby to do it. We can get Bobby to do all their jobs. We'll just put it all on Bobby, right? Or we'll put it all on Loretta. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of our businesses have done. A lot of people that have worked at your job for a while, you know that it used to be so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so in the office with you. And now you do it all, right? That's the takeaway from that economic downturn. And that sounds like a lot of like what's happening now with a lot of the government agencies. That whole trend has just kept going. They've made deep cuts into a lot of these agencies, so they don't have the personnel to take care of what they really need to take care of when they need to take care of it. The CDC is one of them, I would assume, from what Rajay is saying. And bam, here we are. We're now in this situation where they don't have the manpower to even get out there and take care of a situation like they really need to. That's more the truth at Rajay Beer Reviews. Yeah. Ventures. I'm sorry. Beer Ventures. Trump stopped all flights from China on January 31st. They didn't follow up. They didn't follow that up with anything. Sure, blame Trump all you want, but there are state and local governments who did nothing too, or as well. The difference in how the administrations handled the swine flu versus this are night and day. One administration was more prepared and hands-on than the other. It's easy to just blame Trump, but I've been trying to warn people for weeks about this, and they all laughed at me like I was crazy. Americans didn't care at all. Tom said that I can back that at Mansky. At Rod J, I'm not defending Trump, but Obama didn't declare a national state of emergency until thousands of Americans had already died from the swine flu. True, but that hit with more presence than this, as deaths did follow at a faster rate. But just saying, they were more involved on a daily basis and following what was being provided. I have a work visa, to go back to China at any time. I'm thinking of going back now before it gets too bad here. I am very worried about social unrest, looting, and other violence. Joe, you need to wear a hazmat suit to work. It can kind of feel like it, man. I don't know who I'm running into on a daily basis, honestly. And I run into a lot of different people, and a lot of different businesses. It's a trip. Rajay says, not defending either myself, but just sharing details of how they were involved. Claiming a national emergency opens key funding, and thinking under Obama they may have not been there. My concern is garbage pickup. How will that work? Yeah. Adam has a good point there. Yeah, garbage pickup. I haven't thought much, but they just picked up my garbage a couple days ago. Yeah, oof, garbage. A lot of the garbage trucks in our area are they don't even get out. They just, the truck comes out, picks the can up and dumps it over and puts it back down. They don't even get out. But I'm sure there's a whole component to sometimes they do have to get up there if something gets jammed, or possibly cleaning the truck before and after each route. And they're picking up trash, right? Like, these people are going home to families at the end of the day, to loved ones and so on and so forth. Yeah, what's their lives like, right? I mean, they're picking up all the waste of stuff. Talk about serious fear of contamination. That is, I didn't think about that. That's a good one. This is much more contagious than the flu, and 10 to 20 times more fatal. Italian doctors are saying younger people need ventilation on ventilation in the CIU. ICU. Okay. I was like, I don't know what CIU is. Okay. Yeah, he corrected himself there. At least as related before hitting a break point, there was a good piece written about it, but can't place link here because it will get blocked by spam, as spam by YouTube. Oh. I work at a supermarket. Oh, Chad works at a supermarket. I'd love to hear from you, brother. Though 18 years old is youngest that I have seen here. The actual name of this virus is SARS-CoV-2. This is SARS-2, and no one cares. True, Mansky. Been working from home for years. Hashtag ahead of the curve. Our store, Chad, this is Chad, and he works in a grocery store. Our store was nuts Friday. No toilet paper, no chicken. Ran scarce on pasta, but still had plenty of seafood. Make sure to hit that thumbs up for Joe D. Hey, thanks, Rod. Appreciate it, man. Hey, Aaron, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well, Joe. Stay safe and enjoy your beers, bro. Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good to hear from Aaron. FYI, I am left-handed. Me too. Me too. I'm a big lefty. Matter of fact, the whole board, the whole Share Beer board, and that would be me, Bum, and Mark are all left-handed. We're all left-handed. We all think the right way. Chad says, what did people use before toilet paper? You know what? We could invest. I think that there's going to be people investing in bidets now, possibly, and or Japanese toilets, right? Hey, Japanese toilet ain't sounding too bad right now. You ain't worried about toilet paper one bit if you have a Japanese toilet, right? Mansky says there are many cases of reinfection coming from China, Japan, and South Korea. I didn't know. I don't know as much as you guys do because I don't watch TV at all. So I am the guy, self-proclaimed guy under the rock. If you are to ever at some point say, man, you'd have to be living under a rock not to hear this stuff. Hello, here I am. I'm the guy under the rock. The only reason I start hearing about it is because it affects sports, and I listen to a lot of sports podcasts on a daily basis during the week. So once sports starts getting canceled or it starts infecting players and all these sorts of things, then I'll hear about it because now the sports guys are talking about it. And that's how I hear about stuff. So just to give anybody that insight about myself, I am an extreme cord cutter. Very extreme. I don't like live TV at all. I don't like commercials. I don't like any of that. So watching an NFL game or watching a NASCAR race drives me insane because you have to see all the commercials. It just drives me nuts. Toilet paper is gold. That's what Chad said. Oh, and he says, you're out of luck. My supermarket does not sell bats. You cannot get bat meat at his supermarket. Supermarkets and toilet paper companies are making a fortune this month. Yeah, I'd say. Chicano Azteca. I'm just worried about when business starts shutting down. I like the thought of using maybe my emergency fund to pay normal bills. Don't like the thought of, okay. So he was saying here, I don't like the thought of, okay, I got you, man. No, I think a lot of us don't, right? The problem is we are here. Here we are. We're here. We're at this point, and my question is, this is to me week one, the end of week one of stuff shutting down, and they're saying it might possibly last just a month or maybe 2 months. Possibly is what I've been hearing. What do we look like if this is the end of week one? What do we look like at the end of week 4? And what do we look like at the end of week 6? And hopefully not, but what do we look like at the end of week 8? Week 8 seems like an eternity away, man. If we're doing this day by day, literally, it's so fluid, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow morning. It's that fluid. I forgot there was one child I see that has tested positive. He was a kid that got an autograph from Gorbert at the game. Are you being serious, or is that a joke? Because that's crazy. Quarantine and drink limeritas all day. Rita Nation. Hashtag Rita Nation, baby. Thanks for that, Turner. Appreciate that, man. Rita Nation still lives on. Drink limeritas. Boom. Help prevent everything. Salute. By the way, I am having the end of my new Budweiser Nitro Reserve Gold. This is a new Budweiser Nitro beer. The first Budweiser Nitro beer. And I have to say, even now that it's extremely room temperature, it's not bad. Not bad at all. Or I've just gotten used to it, or I'm just digging the conversation, quite frankly. No toilet paper or hamburger meat in Middle Tennessee. I've got family in West Tennessee, so these things are very interesting, man. And this is a big issue. I wonder how this will play out when business do shut down and those without an emergency fund are unable to pay mortgages, no charge / rent. If quarantine goes into effect and lasts months, homelessness will. Yeah. No charge. I kind of agree with that, man. Increase. Homelessness will increase. Beer wise, I'm good to at least summer. Yeah, beer wise, alcohol wise, yeah, I've got plenty. I could get hammered the rest of the year. I'm telling you right now. If we're judging by that, I got enough in my pantry right now to last me the rest of the year. Man, I'm good. Jamison and ginger for the win, Omar says. No, the kid got it. No, the kid got it from, they think, during autograph session. Remember, Gorbert was touching all the mics after his media press conference. I did hear about that, but I didn't know that you were not joking. I thought, wow, that's awful, actually. The end result of long-term quarantine will devastate lives beyond what the sickness will. this will cripple many businesses in the process. Economically, this has potential to be a real disaster. I see that exactly. One of the other jazz players also picked it up. I heard about that as well. That there's now you've got a couple, and that's what suspended the season, right? I could pound a few decent limeritas. That's what Joe says. Uh, Liquor as well, just in case. That's what I'm saying. I've got plenty of liquor and plenty of beer. Yeah. Hamburger meat was out at our store Friday, but never ran out of steak. Oh, that's interesting. Um, I'm doing laundry as well. It's Sunday, so I have to get all these things done. So we'll take a quick break. I'm going to need to get another beer or two, and I'll be right back. Okay, so give me a minute. I got to put that in the dryer, grab another beer. So we'll be right back. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, guys, thanks, man. I am back. Let me got me a couple more of these Budweisers. Let me crush this one real quick. And so for those that didn't get to see, this is the new Budweiser Nitro Reserve Gold. Okay. It's their Budweiser's first Nitro Reserve beer. On the side, Budweiser is trying to educate you on how to pour a nitro beer. And they tell you to flip this particular one 3 times, open and pour hard, and wait for it. Okay. Now, we've done this on here twice already because I've had 2 of these on here. So, you know what? I need to stand up. Give me another couple seconds here. I'm going to move this desk to its standing position here. I have to crank it up here. All right. Yeah, there we go. That's better. So let me stand up here. Do this for a little. I have to get my standing pad from over here. Put the chair over there now. Time to stand up, man. If you guys remember, I hurt my back a while back, and and so that's why I got this desk, and so now I can adjust everything quickly, as you can see here on the fly, and now I can do a standing show. So makes it convenient. You know what I'm saying? Let me raise this a little more. You can take a look at the Rams blanket back there, man, because the Rams are, the most important thing in the world. Hello, duh. In case you didn't know, now you know. So this is a lot better sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I'll do this show sometimes standing. So here we are, man. We've got same glass, but we've done this on here twice already. Oh, and there's the top of the can for those that didn't get to see. And they've got the crown in there in the tab as well. So we'll tip it up and down. 1, 2, 3, like they asked. I'll even do this one an extra time. Here we go. You don't want to shake it. Just tip it upside down. Just nice and gently, right? So here we go. I just cut my damn nails too. There we are. Pour it straight in. Hard, like they say. Just go straight in, man. Straight upside down. Look at that. I know you're not used to this, but this is the way you do it, bro. All right. There we are. And you can see some cascading action. Okay. Kind of cool. Watch it happen. And you can see that nice golden color. Looks the same way to you as it does to me. Sometimes I have to mention that because sometimes the beer doesn't. It looks different in person than it does on camera. But this looks pretty similar. So you can see it has more color. The head is nice on there. Nice, creamy. Let me lower that so you can. There you go. Now you're getting a better look at it. Nice, creamy head on there. It is nice. Yeah. This one, nitro beers, you definitely want to have cold. You don't want to have like a room temperature nitro beer. You want that to be cold for sure. So this one that I just poured is better than the first 2 I had because those were cold at the store. As I explained in the beginning of this show, I stood in line. I got it out of the refrigerated section of my grocer and then stood in line at that grocer and then got home and finally drank them. So no charge. Couple more comments here. Rajay saying, let me pan this up a little more. An NBA ref. Oh, this is also who caught it, I think. But who cares about the refs? Hashtag just kidding, right? I hope so. Or what? Just kid sing, right? Yeah. And then he typed that wrong. Just kidding, man. He was playing, making a joke, making a funny, people. Don't get all hung up on it, okay? The financial impact will definitely be huge, and many don't have emergency funding accounts. I mean, that's the takeaway, really. Cameron says, "Hey Joe, longtime viewer from Australia. Hope you're staying safe. Thank God beer exists in times like this. You bet, my friend. Thanks, man. Hey, good to see you again. Appreciate it, man. Thank you from Australia, from the Big Island there. Thank you, man. At least we can still get on here and share a beer, man. That's what it's all about. Being able to have a conversation in times like this. The whole premise of starting this was safety. Honestly, it was being able, when I started this, God, 10 years ago now, the whole premise of doing this live, the virtual pub table thing, was mostly focused towards not drinking and driving, because you could do it from the safety of your own home. But it's still safety. It's still, the whole idea of this still resonates right now. We're all able to, in our safe places, with your abundance of toilet paper that you've stocked up on and your abundance of water you've stocked up on, we're able to share a beer, and still talk about our different communities and our different views on what we're hearing, and voice it, have a place to voice it. That's the beauty of StreamYard. That's the beauty of Facebook. That's the beauty of YouTube. Thank you to all these platforms for giving us a chance to have a voice like this. I appreciate this opportunity. And I'm just trying to give us all that are in the chat a vehicle to express ourselves. I'm going to copy a link here now, and I'll post a link now if anybody would like to jump in and make your voice heard. So I'll post that link in there. You're more than welcome to jump in here, man, and let's actually hear from you. Let's see you. Let's lay eyeballs on you, and let's talk about it some more. Why not? I enjoy the conversation. If you've watched and for any amount of time, you know that I definitely enjoy the conversation. And I think others do as well. I think the majority of people never actually comment or anything. They just watch. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just, but in the meantime, it's food for thought. Food for thought, food for thought, food for thought. This is the great thing about doing these things is food for thought, man. So thank you guys. As you guys know, you might be wondering about all the ladies you see in the background here. I am a photographer as well. So this is all my work that you see. I thought I'd mention it. I do get that from time to time. These are all photo shoots that I've done. And the one over my head right now is my little sister. So take it easy on that one, will you? That's my little sister right there. But these are all photo shoots that I have done when I'm not doing Share a Beer Show, or I don't do many reviews anymore. But when I'm not doing anything beer related, or when I'm not at my regular job 60 hours a week, I am shooting, or I'm editing, or something like that. And so I just appreciate all you guys, man. Absolutely. Salute to everybody out there, to your safety. I hope everyone is safe. And I hope that as we start getting more and more proper tests in our areas that are available to you, and they're not super expensive, I hope it doesn't affect anybody related to this show. But if it does, I hope you'll still tune in. I mean, if it does affect you, let us know, man. I would like to hear from you. I would like to hear what your life is like. If you're in quarantine, you can still watch this show. You can still chime in, and you'll always have a voice, man. You're always more than welcome here. I have got the John Hopkins website up here. So I'll share that with you guys, and we can get some numbers from John Hopkins website right now. Let me make this a little bigger. Here we go. Let me refresh the page as well. Here we go. Total confirmed. And I guess this is world confirmed. 156,400 across the world is what it looks like. You have 80,995 in China for the time being. 21,000 in Italy, 12,000 in Iran, 8,000 in Korea, 6,000 in Spain. Germany has 4,500. France has 4,400. The U.S. has 2,900. Switzerland at 1359, the UK at 1143, Norway at just over 1,000, Sweden at 961, Netherlands at 959, and Denmark 836, and Japan at 773, and the cruise ships apparently at 696. And so on and so forth. Canada, I'll name since there are neighbors to the north at 252. And so you can see here the, whoops, I thought that would pop up. Yeah, I thought it was, it was a while ago. Maybe, oh, here we go. Here we go. So just trying to make that map a little bigger so we can all see it. Let me bring my here we go. So a little bit more zoomed in view of the world here. So you've got Australia over here. We have our friend on in the chat right now from Australia, Cam. So I thought I'd show Australia. We have wow, look at China, dear God. Russia, and we have the UK over here. I mean, look at that whole area. And Spain, Sweden, none in Greenland. Are they just not being tested, or what's happening? Africa looks pretty scarce. South America looks pretty scarce. There's nothing happening in Antarctica down here. And the United States is getting hit pretty good. And so that's the majority of the globe right there, right here in this picture right here. We can zoom into the United States and get a more detailed look at the United States here. And this is according to Johns Hopkins University of Medicine website right here, coronavirus.hdu.edu, for anybody that wants to see the same map I'm looking at. As you guys know, I love graphs and maps of this sort. So let's start on the East Coast here. Let's get in a little closer and maybe start with like Florida or something. So you've got some cases over here, kind of what looks like a little south, but mostly east of Tampa. Some cases over here right around Macon, Georgia. Columbia, South Carolina. You've got over here by Montgomery, Alabama, kind of west of Montgomery. You've got what looks like something happened over here south of Greensboro, North Carolina. Looks like you've got, so you guys can see the cases, right? You guys can see the red dots. You can see where they're happening. Here we got Kentucky. And I think that's literally, let's see here. Let's zoom back out. Yeah, I think that's Rod J's house right there, actually, where that red dot's at. Oh, boy. But yeah, you guys can see a little bit more detailed look here as we kind of go across into New England. You can see some of the more harder hit areas as the size of the circle is as we pan across into the Midwest. You can see how that's. I heard Denver is kind of a big spot. There's some cases happening now in the West. So you've got Denver and Albuquerque, and here's Phoenix now, where I'm at. And this is also good geography for anybody that might not be in this country. You're not necessarily familiar with where all the states are at. This is also good for you to see where, where all these places are at in America, at least. You've got the Bay Area with quite a few cases. Of course, Central California with quite a few cases, and Seattle with quite a few, and Oregon with quite a few. And Idaho, of course, Idaho has some cases. So looks like you've got Idaho happening. Canada, our friends to the north here, we've got the southern provinces of Canada coming up with some cases as well. Looks like some smaller hit areas here in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and Ontario is being hit hard. You've got some pretty good cases happening over there, and over here into Quebec. And so far Newfoundland, not too many cases, I guess, in Newfoundland, and northern Canada doesn't look like too much happening there. And as far as Alaska goes, I don't think there's maybe possibly much testing happening there or something, right? I guess there is some cases happening now in Alaska. I think when we did the show, it wasn't showing any red dots in Alaska, but there's probably testing happening up there now, and so now they're showing some people infected up there. So that's a look at that sort of map. Total deaths is 5,800. This looks like worldwide deaths. It doesn't really help us to zoom all the way in, does it? You can kind of see this from right here. China having the most at 3,000. Italy having 1,441 confirmed deaths. Iran, I hadn't heard anything about Iran, but I guess Iran is hard hit at 611, Spain at 196, France at 91, South Korea 72, Washington, U.S. 40. Wow, when Washington D.C. has its own, 40. You have this part of China with 22. Japan with 22, the UK with 21. Interesting stuff here, man. And then as you go down the line, you guys can see as I'm scrolling how many deaths might be in your particular area. California has 5. Different parts of China, many different parts of China in here listed separately. Greece has 3. Lebanon has 3. Florida has 3. New South Wales has 2. Wow. So this is interesting. You're getting fewer and fewer deaths. So now you're getting into 1 death. Lots of deaths in China, isn't there? Wow. Colorado, 1 death. Georgia, 1 death. Kansas, 1 death. Louisiana, all these places have 1 death. Louisiana, New Jersey, South Dakota, and Virginia. Total recovered. This needs to be talked about. Almost 74,000 people totally recovered. Total recovered 54,000 in China in this Hubei, China. 74,000. I mean, I'm sorry, 54,000. 2959 in Iran, Italy 1966, and so on and so forth. So we'll scroll down. Wow, most of it's China, of course. Lots of China. Diamond Princess cruise ship, 325 recovered on there. That deserves a mention. Do you guys know anybody going on a cruise? Are you going on a cruise soon? How do you feel about that? I woke up to this morning, Southwest still offering really, really good discounts on travel. Are you willing to buy an airline ticket at this point? United Kingdom, the UK at 18 recovered. United Arab Emirates at 17. I think that's worth a mention. France at 12. Romania at 9. Queensland, Australia at 8. Recovered. Victoria at 8. Recovered. Greece at 8. Indonesia at 8. Russia 8. Austria at 6. California at 6. Recovered. New South Wales 4 recovered. British Columbia 4 recovered. Ontario 4 recovered. India 4. Israel 4. Mexico 4. Qatar 4. Switzerland 4. Netherlands 2. Pakistan 2. Philippines 2. Illinois 2. Argentina 1. Belgium, Cambodia, Croatia, Denmark. There's a Denmark? I didn't realize that. Finland, Hungary, Iceland all have 1. Jordan 1. Lebanon 1. Morocco 1. I'd kind of like to go to Morocco one of these days. Not today. Just one of these days. Saudi Arabia 1. Sweden 1. Arizona 1. That's the first time we've been mentioned, Arizona. We have 1 recovered. Washington, D.C. 1. Massachusetts 1. And Wisconsin 1. So there it is. There's the list right there, man. You guys are seeing it like I'm seeing it right there. You can argue that if you want. But that's that. That's that. Drinking some Bud, watching, man. Hey, salute to you, Michael. Absolutely. Well, we still got Maine lobster if anyone needs some. I mean, there's always a positive, right? There's always a positive in this, right? Hashtag safe in Kentucky. Hashtag remain safe. Exactly, man. Chad says, do Eskimos test themselves? Or are we all going to eventually move into igloos, right? That's a good question, right? Do we all move into igloos and just kind of maybe the Eskimos have it right. Maybe we all need to do Eskimo kisses. Maybe that's why there's not that many cases in the cold. But the Eskimos have it all right. Eskimo kisses, baby. That's what's up. Hey, if someone reaches out to shake your hand, what do? Right? What are you doing? Are you reaching out to shake their hand, fist bump, or elbow bump? Or are you just giving the old Japanese nod? Yeah. Oi. What's happening there with you, man? What are we doing? Is that what we're doing? Or are we gonna start? Is everybody just gonna nod? Is that a polite social distance? Do the Japanese have it right? These are questions, right? Just a question. I wonder what the Eskimo supermarkets are like. An Eskimo supermarket is called whale hunting. They just pull a big-ass whale and everyone gets their big-ass knife and just starts hacking away at the muckaluk on the darn whale. Isn't that right? Isn't that what they call the whale fat? They just start hucking big chunks of muckaluk on there, right? I thought that's what I seen on a documentary that they called that stuff, right? They just pull a big old whale up there and just hack at it. That's a supermarket. That's an Eskimo supermarket, isn't it? They go out there with one of those big old spear guns and whoop, and then they just, reel it in, and everybody gets their big old machete and whack. Yeah. Then they can bury it right there and just get to it anytime they want. They have a natural freezer right there. What do you want? Right? The freezer's right there. They just, hey, leave it. Who cares? We'll come back later. We'll hack off a piece when we need it. It's cold enough out here. What do you want? Right? The whole environment's a big freezer. Hashtag volcano hell over handshake. Yeah. Vulcan hello over handshake. Yeah. What's the Vulcan hello? Is it like the Is that what it is? Yeah. Yeah. Hashtag live long and prosper. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Live long and prosper, man. That's what's up right there. So, hey, you know what, man? It was great to have everybody on here. I'm going to get out of here, man. Wanted to give some food for thought on my shopping experience this morning. Let me see. We got Chad on here one more time. Don't they bury whale parts and leave them it to rot for years, then eat it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they kind of do. That's what I was getting at. I think they just kind of like hack off what they can when the whale is like freshly pulled out, and then they just leave the rest. They're just like, yeah, forget it. We'll come back later. It's cold. It'll freeze. It'll be all right. And then it dry ages, actually. It's like dry aged beef. The whale just kind of ages out there, and it gets better. And Rajay says, Joe never watched Star Trek, apparently. No, I don't. I watched Star Trek, back in the day when they, the old Star Treks, from the 60s and 70s and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the Star Trek I watched. I don't know about when Spock died and all that stuff. I don't know about that stuff. I'm still living way in the past, man. I'm still way before that. Spock was still, yo, what up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they were still doing the flip up talkie thing, right? And don't we all wish we could kind of do some of that, like just kind of what did they call it when they would transport somewhere, right? Don't you wish you could just like, yeah, you know what? I want out of here, man. Let me get out of here, man. I'm going over there. I'm Yeah, Mr. Spock, laugh out loud. He was a Vulcan, yeah. See what I'm saying? You just did the Vulcan greeting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody knows the Vulcan greeting, man. Yeah, that's that's what you do. Hey, I think the Japanese got it right, though. Just, and you grunt a little bit. Yeah. Right? You got to look up a little bit, right? And just, that's it. And a lot of salute, right? Salute, yeah. Yeah. Let's touch glasses, not like me. No need to touch me. I have to admit, man, you think about it. Like this whole week has gone by, and I've had people like put their hand out, and I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of switch, I'm like, yeah. Right? I mean, you kind of think about it now, right? I don't know. What have you done with that hand? I don't know. If you're putting out your left hand, what'd you do with that left hand? So, someone just said they don't need toilet paper anymore. I don't know if you're that guy. I use a lot of public restrooms. I'm a truck driver. I use a lot of public restrooms. I'm in public restrooms. Yeah, okay. What is it with the guys that got to be on the phone, on the toilet, in the public restroom? Give me a break. What are you doing? What are you doing here? What are you doing? You know, come on. We've all known these people. You've been in a public restroom. There's things getting set on fire in there, man. Are you kidding me? People are dying in them places, man. You hear all kinds of stuff happening there. Then you're on the phone having a conversation with your kids. What are you kidding me? They don't need to hear all this stuff. There's toilets flushing and all kinds of people dying in there. I mean, people are letting go of them tacos they had. I mean, come on. You know what's happening there. No, come on, man. What are you having a conversation in the toilet for? Come on, man. Put them on hold, man. Call them back. What are you doing? I hear people talking. Yeah, baby. Throwing one out of the back end there, man. Come on. Hey, drop the kids off at the pool and then call her back, bro. Come on. What are you doing? Right? These things are crazy to me, man. Right? And then you hear that guy giving birth, and then he comes out of the stall. He doesn't even wash his hands. When do we start becoming a little more vigilante? Hey, man. Hey, dude, wash your hands. Right? Are you tempted to do that now? When you see someone use the restroom and they don't wash their hands, no charge. Are you tempted now to say, hey, dude, really? Wash your hands, man. Come on. Right? When do we get to that point? Is that the end of week 2? Is that the end of week 3? Week 4? What point do we get to that where we're starting to, hey, you know what, man? Hey, man, why don't you wash your hands, bro? Nasty. When do we get to that point? Right? When's that coming? What week is that? What's the craziest supermarket everyone's been to? Mine. The one that I go to, I'm telling you. On an average Sunday afternoon, like right now, it's 11 o'clock my time right now. Another hour on an average Sunday, get over there. Watch some craziness happen. I swear to God, if you're pushing a cart, there's traffic, bro. You feel like there should be like signals at at the end of every aisle there. Okay. Like you should put a signal on. You're waiting for the stupid light so you can make a right turn to the next aisle, for Christ's sake, and there's traffic going by. You gotta be kidding me. There's this many people and there's damn groceries. I swear to God. There's times when I'm in an aisle, and all I want to do is grab that bottle of pasta sauce right there. That's all I want to do is grab that right there. All I gotta do is I pull my cart right here. Oh shoot! Sorry, man. Yeah. Hey, sorry. Yeah. Oh, damn. You look around, you don't see anybody coming. Okay. I mean, there's that many damn people in the grocery store. It's the one I go to. I'm telling you. Other people at work say, "Oh yeah, man, I've shopped at that. Man, that store is nuts." I mean, it is. It's crazy, man. That's why I go so damn early. That's why I was so shocked that there was that many people there that early. It's crazy, man. At what point? This is another question I have before I get out of here. They don't want large groups of people, right? Or discouraging large groups of people. So now they're even starting to tell churches, hey, congregations of 100 or more, hey, man, think about it. Do we really need to do this? Okay. When we start getting to that level, you've got the automakers. That's hundreds, if not thousands of people coming to one building. That's a large group of people. At what point are you going to tell them to stay home? That's a large group of people coming to work. Maybe not an event, but it's a work every day. Well, when do you stop telling them? Amazon. I live in an Amazon city. There's 2.5 million Amazon warehouses here in Phoenix. If you don't know that, how many times you ever got an Amazon package and seen it come out of Phoenix? Yeah, probably a lot. And there's a lot of warehouses here, I'm telling you. There's hundreds of people per shift in each one of these Amazon warehouses. A lot of them are my immediate area. Literally within a 3-mile radius, I can think of at least 5. Honestly, I'm not joking either. That hundreds of people per shift. At what point do you tell them to stay home? You ain't telling Amazon to stay home. The whole country shut down if Amazon stays home. But when do we get there? Is that week 3? Week 4? Week 5? We're canceling NBA seasons. We're canceling the NCAA tournament because they're big crowds. I'm an NFL season ticket holder. Right now, you have till April 1st to either make a payment or pay for your NFL tickets. This is NFL ticket season for NFL ticket season holders, current season ticket holders. This is when you pay for this coming season. I'm not putting down any damn money till I get an announcement from the NFL. Hey, are we having a season? Is it delayed? I'm not plucking down thousands of dollars again if you're not going to have a season. What's going on there? So for people to think this doesn't affect the NFL, oh, this is perfect because the NFL doesn't even start till, no, it starts now, man. We have till April 1st to pay for our tickets. It's right now. It's a couple of weeks. So for those that don't think it affects the NFL, no, it's affecting the NFL because there's thousands of people out there just like myself saying, well, what's up? Everyone else is postponing and canceling and suspending. What about you? What you gonna do? You need to put out a statement. They do. They need to put out a statement more than what they have. The Cardinals, I'm a season ticket holder for the Arizona Cardinals. They need to they've put out some BS, a couple of them, and that ain't working. No, because you haven't said a damn thing about the season. They're stalling. They're stalling because they're getting pounded by season ticket holders. I want to know. That's a question I have. These are questions that are coming up, like we had here in the chat room earlier. There's going to be a huge economic impact, and that's the impact, right? What does it look like when we get together next weekend? What does it look like? Whose job is being affected, right? It's a trip. All these sporting events being canceled and suspended, that affects someone's job. There's going to be a trickle-down effect. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. It really is to me. We have a couple more comments. So we have Rajay. Went earlier this week to my store and shelves were being cleaned out with people losing my mind, or probably their mind. Went yesterday. Well, cleaned out with people losing my mind. Went yesterday and a lot of stuff restocked, minus toilet paper, paper towels, and sanitizer. Kroger and their stores are actually hiring more people now to help with restocking on shelves. Ohio is set to close restaurants and bars as of tomorrow. Yeah. The NFL said they are not changing things as it stands. They are in free agency mode. Yeah. This was as of Friday from the statement that I saw. Yeah, because these things are very fluid. That's why Rod said that. Yeah, that was as of Friday. April 1st is a big day for season ticket holders because you have to start paying for those tickets. I'm telling you, watch for that day. April 1st is not just April Fool's Day. It's the season ticket holder, current season ticket holder, pay for your ticket day. So. And a lot of people pay more money than I do, and I pay thousands of dollars. Let me tell you, every year, there's many of us that love football, and we put down our money to prove it. It's I have a deep love for football. Boy, I love football. Have the premium subscription sports channels offered any refunds in the States? You know what? That's a damn good question. Yeah, what about people that subscribe to NBA subscriptions or soccer, MLB subscriptions, or your different variants of a NASCAR subscription or something like that? Any of those? That's a good damn question. Hopefully they did. Hopefully something gets resolved, something gets worked out. The craziest supermarket I've been to was a Wegmans. They had 5 restaurants in the food court and 1,000-pound mushroom truffles. 1,000 looks like $1,000 or 1,000-pound, both probably. Truffles and about 4 seafood department. Huh. I trying to think. Yeah, and that Ohio. Yeah, there was a grocery store over there I can remember back in the day delivering to in that like Ohio, Michigan, kind of tri-state area right there. It only kind of lived there, and you could get everything from a 2x4 to a dozen eggs there. It was crazy. Was it Wegmans? Can't remember the name of the place, but it damn sure. And this is back in the early 90s, and they were big places too. And you could get gas and everything there. They were really ahead of their time. And yeah, those places were a trip. I remember that. And they only existed like in those areas. Cheers, Craig. Not that I have seen here. ESPN Plus not looking so good now. I canceled mine. I had that ESPN Plus subscription when Disney Plus came, and they were offering a discount if you already had Hulu, and I already had Hulu, so I signed up for the Disney Plus with the ESPN Plus. I canceled that. Yeah, that was already 2 months ago. I canceled that. The ESPN Plus was garbage. It wasn't worth a damn, really. And the Disney Plus, once you watch that Mandalorian, which I didn't think was that great anyway, but once you watch that and watched a few of the Disney shorts and whatever other little animation they had on there, I was like, now what? You know what I'm saying? They weren't coming out with anything else new. I canceled all that stuff. I'm like, I mean, I stick with Hulu. I like Hulu because I'm a Seinfeld nut. I watch Seinfeld daily, believe it or not. At least one episode every day. At least one. I'm probably watching 3 or 4, tell you the truth, but at least one. That's crazy. But 1,000 a pound mushroom truffles to be exact. Okay, thank you, Chad, for clearing that up. Was it Myers? It was Myers. Yep. Was it Biggs or Myers? It was Myers. Yep. That was the run. Thanks, Rajay. Cheers, Rod. And then you have Rod. Yeah, Chad, that is crazy. Yeah, it was Myers. Now I remember. Yep. Thanks for that. That was Myers for sure. Big place, man. Real big place. I'm going to crack open this beer and then get out of here, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everybody that jumps on here, man. All your support. And, you know, cheers. Let me get something in my glass here so I can, oh, that sound is awesome, isn't it? Don't pour this one easy, man. Straight up. Put that bottom of the can to the sky, my friends. And watch that cascade action. Just enjoy it. I would encourage people to buy, if you can find it in a 6-pack, get in a 6-pack, just in case you don't necessarily love it. But I would encourage people to try this particular red can Budweiser, which is the main Budweiser, you know. Bud Light outsells it, but the main Bud is the red can, and, you know, give it a shot. I would like to hear what you think of it. Oh, man, it's delicious. It really is. The more I drink, and this works for anything, right? Most anything. You know, if you happen to get a 6-pack of something, that first one, you're kind of like, I'm 4 in right now. And I'm like, not bad. So maybe that's why they only sell it in 12 pack, because by the time you get to the end of the 12 pack, you're like, nah, you know what? Pretty good. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you're a little more into it than you were in the beginning, right? But honestly, my first two were not as cold, and these last two are definitely cooler. So that definitely masks some of the flavor and definitely makes it better if you're masking some of the flavor of these light lagers, man. Honestly, but keep these kind of beers cold. Your big macro beers, keep them ice cold, man, and they do go down okay, honestly. But you guys take care, man. Be safe, and let's hear from you next weekend, man, and see where we're all at. Take mental note of what is happening in your local areas, what you're hearing, and things that you would like to mention on next week's Share a Beer, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Facebook. And we'll see you guys, man. Peace out, brothers. Thank you. Let me see. A couple more comments real quick. So Chad said, port like Murphy's Stout. Yeah, that's exactly a good reference. That is a real good reference. Thanks, Joe D. You made it entertaining Sunday from my friend. Appreciate it. Hey, thanks. Rajay also does this regularly, way more than I do. Rajay is fantastic. He has some good little games that he plays and reviews that he still does. So make sure to check out Rajay Beer Ventures for sure, man. He does this a lot more often than I do, and he's just as entertaining. I've gotten in when I can, but Rod gives me a hard time about it, but I appreciate it, man. Thanks to all you guys, man. Peace out. We'll see you.